Good day, my friends. We are going to talk about medical tourism leadership, developing mindful, sustainable, and viable business strategies. You might ask me that why do we have to talk about the mindful business strategies in medical tourism? We all know the impact of the COVID on the medical tourism industry. In fact, that is going to be my subject, that what is actually the impact of COVID on travel industry and global healthcare industry, and together what is the impact on the medical tourism industry. When I talk about the impact, you will realize that how important it is for us to start thinking about developing more mindful, more sustainable and viable business strategies, along with how we are going to integrate the wellness strategies. So today I am going to discuss that this COVID has created a massive impact on everything. Results are unbelievable of everything that we have done in our life and business and economy. Somehow, I guess medical tourism is blessed during this COVID that the unorganic growth of medical tourism has stopped right now, and now we have much more better idea about how we can develop more sustainable, more viable, more mindful strategies in medical tourism industry. But first and foremost, let's talk about why and what kind of impact this COVID had on entire tourism industry. We all know that more than 84% travel was stopped because of the COVID, and we also know that nothing is going to be the same before 2024. Even if we don't talk about new variable, even if we talk about high vaccination and all, still the industry is going to have a little slow rate in terms of coming back. What it means to medical tourism industry? The question is that medical tourism is a combination of two things. One is people traveling from one place to another place. So obviously there is a travel involvement. And second is a healthcare demand. But let's look at how COVID has impacted healthcare. You would surprised to know during the peak time, in just 12 weeks, 28.5 million selective or you call elective surgeries were postponed during the COVID time, during the peak period, 28.5 million. There was a time where in UK, United Kingdom, patient waiting time increased from 4 million to 10 million patients. 10 million patients were waiting for the treatment. In fact, there was a time in which in France, 75% people cancelled their appointment. In fact, they delayed getting the medical treatment in US and everywhere in the world. And it's just not only about medical industry, even in the wellness industry, stress and anxiety actually tripled. The number of cases reported to the psychiatrist and psychologist were 3 times more. More than 15% people use drugs and substance abuse to deal with the COVID-related stress. And in fact, the inactivity caused 9% premature death. So, in general, COVID pushed healthcare even further worse. What exactly happened? And I need to explain you that during COVID, healthcare deteriorated. It went actually down. It went worsen. Why? Because the access to healthcare was not easily available. African patients who were traveling to India or other part of the world, they could not travel. Indonesian patients are not able to travel to Malaysia for the treatment. Middle Eastern patients who were traveling to Europe or Jordan and other places, they were not able to travel. And they could not get the medical services they want because the halt of the travel. But does that mean that they got recovery, or does that mean that they got treatment? We need to understand one thing. If someone wanted to go to honeymoon or a wellness retreat for a vacation, if he or she didn't go for that treatment, there was a loss of travel business for a week, for 10 days, for a month and year. It was purely loss of a travel business. But in healthcare, if someone wanted a knee replacement, someone wanted a bypass, can they not do it? Can they really stop it? They can just delay it, but they cannot stop it. So it is not that that will not happen. In fact, that is the point in healthcare industry. The demand is there. In fact, demand is aggravated, demand is escalated, demand is elevated, demand has increased significantly. That medical tourism is going to grow far more bigger as an industry post-COVID, because people are waiting. There must be at least $80 billion of business waiting to happen in medical tourism. Now the point is, if the travel starts, and we know that travel is not going to start before 2024, and there are various reasons. The governments are not going to issue visas so easily. The vaccinations are not going to happen that fast. We know that in some part of Eastern Europe and some part of the world, the vaccination is not happening as fast as other places, right? And also we know the travel industry, the airlines are not coming back as they're supposed to be coming back. So travel is going to be slow. And the more slow we see the travel, what we will see, the more healthcare demand is increasing, more medical tourism demand is increasing, more number of medical cases are increasing, and that will put a pressure on medical tourism industry. Of course, there will be a time period that the most of the hospital who were getting a massive medical tourism business will not get it, and that is the reason why they need to focus on more viable industry, viable practices. And we have to talk right now why we need to do more sustainable. Let me give you first of all the definition and meaning of these terms about mindful business practices, viable business practices, and sustainable business practices. And also I will give you explanation why these are extremely important in today's point of view. Let me start with the most important point called viable. Viable simply means feasible, efficient, effective, result-oriented strategy. There was a time where the governments, hospitals were spending crazy money in medical tourism and marketing. Few years back, there were lots of money by tourism board pumped into the medical tourism industry. Lots of events happening, lots of activities happening. Can those government, can those association, can those hospitals spend that kind of money again in marketing? Not really. So they need to have a more feasible efforts, need to have efforts which can they see as a return on their investment. So they need to have a more viable strategies, and that's why I'm going to talk about lean strategies. But viable simply mean that there has to be result oriented strategies, right? Second, I will talk about the sustainable strategies, which means now we are in a situation where we need to think about long term. The long term growth of medical tourism is very important at this moment. We cannot just think of pumping something right now, using resources, using or making medical tourism as a one-way street. It is not going to happen. So we need to have more lean practices in medical tourism industry, which means cutting down the wastage in the process, cutting down the huge markups, and making more better budgets in medical tourism industry, and making more sustainable industry so that the industry survive for long run. But you might ask me, what is mindful business practices? By the way, mindfulness is about, whether it is a personal life or mindful business practices, is all about being aware. Being aware what kind of business you are in. Being aware who is your customer. Being aware what kind of contribution you are going to do. And being aware what kind of impact you are going to leave. What kind of business medical tourism is in? Well, we know medical tourism does generate lots of foreign revenue. We do know it brings lots of patients to international hospital. But this business is more about responsibility. It's about providing care to the people who cannot access, people who cannot afford, people who cannot get into the medical services in country, or they cannot trust healthcare in their own country. So you are not in a business of money making. Medical tourism is a very responsible business. Being aware about that is very important. Every month we get more than 3,000 patient inquiries. Even today we are one of the biggest lead generators in medical tourism. We share leads with various hospitals. You would surprised to know, no one send us a patient lead or patient inquiry that, hey Dr. Prem, we had $2,000, we want to pay you $2,000. Every single inquiry is about, my mom is suffering with some cardiac disorders. I do not have a means of treatment in my country. Please help me. I do not have money for my treatment for my son in my home country. Please tell us what you can do. Be aware who's your customer. Understand what are their needs, what are their wants, what are their demands, and what they are actually looking for. The first thing they are looking for, the empathy. They are looking for your sympathy. They are looking for your care. And most important, in medical tourism, customers are looking for solution. In medical tourism, solutions are far more important than just talking about brand, talking about those big practices, talking about those big strategies and all. Customer is actually, it's not a fashionable customer that he wants to wear new attire, he wants to wear new sunglasses, or he wants to buy that luxurious perfume. It's not that the customer. In medical tourism, the customer has a need and he has a want that he really wants to get the medical services from the best quality hospital at most reasonable, with the easy visa arrangement and easy to do activities and all. So your customer is actually looking for that kind of care which you can provide them. So being aware about what kind of business you are is the most important component. Somehow, when there was an inorganic growth of medical tourism, we saw interpreters jumping into medical tourism, those transport company, vehicle driven companies jumping into medical tourism. Nothing wrong. Everyone can do the business. But medical tourism was not that organized, and probably we have got the time to understand what kind of business we are into it. What is the contribution of the medical tourism stakeholders? The contribution is a better global healthcare infrastructure, better global healthcare stream. The contribution is to provide those global healthcare solutions to the patient who are suffering. And how we can do all that? We can do that with more openness. We need to be more open about understanding about different destinations, different cultures, different geographies, different requirements and ethos and ethics of the business. Transparency has to be there. The quality has to be undivided. Quality has to be there in every single practice. We need to encourage more quality driven practices by government, by association. Care has to be at the center of everything, and we need to put more efforts on creating trust and capacity building in medical tourism. If we don't build the trust and capacity in medical tourism, we are not going to develop the industry the way we want to do it. So let's take COVID as a blessing, not literally in that sense, but for the medical tourism industry, that the pause that we have got, probably that's what we needed. We needed this pause to look back on our industry and see where we went wrong. Maybe we need to stop looking competitor as a competitor and maybe start looking them as a partner. Maybe we can have a more partnership. Maybe we can have a more viable strategies. Maybe we can develop more sustainable structure. Maybe we can look at medical tourism as a two-way street. So I think so there are great leadership challenges in front of us, how we are going to revive medical tourism. But more than those challenges are how to develop sustainable medical tourism. And I'm thanking Dr. Fauzi from Jordan to helping us to create this forum, and also the Hospital Federation and this entire conference and other speaker coming together, and entire organizations and the industry coming together and discussing how we can develop more sustainable, viable and mindful business practices. Thank you. Feel free to reach out to me and I will be available for question and answer as well. Thank you.